Nothing in the universe happens bang, bang, bang. Everything is a process. Can you identify the process? Can you recognize the process, is the question. Generally, anybody who carries, generally among human beings, when they're children, any child which carries a certain level of genius within him, which is irrepressible. Everybody has genius within them, but they're repressible. Systems in the society, their own fears, their own anxieties, their own need for security represses their genius. Every human being has some kind of genius, but over 90% of the human beings never find expression to it because they give in to other things. Other things become more important. When you were 12, 15, you thought, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll go to the moon. But you saw the neighborhood girl and started calling her the moon. Moon disappeared. So, like this, in everybody, the possibility is wide open. The thing is, can you sustain the process and allow it to become that possibility? Between possibility and reality, there is a distance. Most people neither have the courage nor the conviction to walk the distance. Largely, spiritual process is a kind of an entertainment. Go to discourse after discourse, discourse after discourse, read more and more books and debate how your Atman, Paramatman, your soul is floating here, there and about heaven and hell and everything, but do nothing about this. It's largely like entertainment. So, there is a process for sure. The process can be approached consciously or it may be an unconscious process, but you're doing the right things. This is the beauty of this universe. Whether you know or you do not know, knowingly or unknowingly, with discipline or with indiscipline, with love or with hate, if you do the right things will happen to you. That is the beauty of this universe. So Adi Shankara said, yogaratova bogaratova. Somehow, either through yoga or boga, somehow do it. Somehow find the truth of your inner nature, because what we are considering as truth is simply this. Whatever works on all levels of life must be the truth, isn't it? Whatever really works on all levels of life must be the truth. Whatever you know in your life, test it right now, because you have a mind which can project. Right now, you are striving for a certain level of income or a certain kind of house or a car or something else or something else. Put yourself in different stages of life and see if it still means a lot to you. See, suppose not tomorrow, let's say 100 years later, you're on your deathbed. Just see if your jewelry, your makeup, your car will mean something to you on that day. This does not mean you must give it up today. It is just that you must keep it in its place, you must not carry it in your heart. There is a difference between using something and being used by something. Most people do not know how to use the things that they buy. The things that they buy are using them up. They're enslaving the human being. Whatever things you want to use, you can use, that's not an issue. But the problem is, you let those things use you. This is not okay. So if you just take care that you are not used by anything, you understand the limited role that everything has in your life. the limited role of your education, the limited role of your career, the limited role of your marriage, the limited role of your relationships, the limited role of your wealth, the limited role of everything that you're doing, if you understand where one thing begins and where it ends, then you don't have to do anything. Spiritual process is on. When the season is right, the flowers will bloom and mangoes will come.
If the ignorance is boundless, the possibility of knowing is also boundless, isn't it? You want to reach a conclusion because that is the way that right now mind is operating, that it has to reach a conclusion. No. It is just that liberation means that you're on an endless possibility. An endless possibility, a pessimistic expression of that would be that you fall into your bottomless pit or you soar into a topless sky. Which do you prefer? It's just the same thing. It depends whether you like comedies or tragedies. Accordingly, we can say it. So, then what's the point? So I'm not ever going to get enlightened? No, you have a wrong idea of enlightenment. Unless you drop all your ideas about it, yes, for sure it's never going to happen. Because you're assuming something about something that you do not know. That's a sure way to remain ignorant, isn't it? Yes? You make an assumption about that which is not in your experience. That's a sure way to ensure your ignorance, isn't it? So don't make assumptions as to what it is. Then what's the point of pursuing knowing, I will never know? That's not how it is. It's not any way you think it is. It is another way, in a way that you cannot think. It's only because of that it seems to be difficult. Why constant stress on devotion, devotion, devotion is simply because of that. Because you can't think it out. You're never going to think it out. You just have to walk into it. And a thinking person will not walk into anything because he's hesitation and hesitation and hesitation. So, we're just cultivating you in such a way that there'll be no hesitation in you, you can just walk. It's easy to walk on familiar terrain. A completely new terrain, people cannot walk, isn't it? Enlightenment means you're constantly seeking new terrain where you don't know how to walk. You don't want to walk on terrain that you already know how to walk. You want to walk on a terrain that you do not know how to walk. That's adventure, isn't it? And that's spiritual process, and that's enlightenment. If you read the basic map of one's prana, you know their past, present and future, everything about that person. Because in a way your life is just a manifestation of your energies, how they function. So with the yogic system, what you're trying to do is to change how it functions from an unconscious repetition of things, or it is right now being heavily manipulated by the memory bank that one has or the karmic structure that one has. Accordingly, the energy is moving. Now, if you look at this, let's forget whose image this is, okay? This is like an energy X-ray for immediate purposes. We can make a much elaborate one, but that would take much more involvement. This is for immediate. So, now if you look at this map, what you will see is Mooladhara is slightly imbalanced, needs little more work. Swadhisthana, not very strong, but okay. Manipuraka is good. Anahata, confused. You know what these are? You know which is which? Anahata is confused and a little bit of like that. Vishuddhi, nothing much has happened, as you're born, it is. Agna, okay, stable, nothing phenomenal, but there is potential. I think because of a certain continuous emotional pattern, the system has become slightly skewed, which must be corrected. Hatha Yoga is the right thing to do. If you do proper Hatha Yoga, this slightly skewed positions that your energy system has taken will naturally get corrected.
Please start with this. This is extremely important. What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. If you destroy I do not know, you destroy all possibilities of knowing. The very longing to know, you destroy, isn't it? Everybody knows everything. They know where God is, they know who his wife is, they know how many children he's got, they know his birthday, they know his address, they know what he likes for his birthday, everything, isn't it? But they don't know anything about themselves. When you're incapable of knowing anything about yourself, are you capable of knowing about the Creator? Is it possible? Just believe something, you can sleep well tonight. If all you're looking is to sleep well, it's up to you. But if you want to be awakened to new dimensions of experience and aliveness, then stories that solace you are not sufficient. All that's being offered in the name of spirituality generally is just solace. Solace is just psychological survival, isn't it? Yes or no? If you come seeking solace, you just came to the wrong place. Because I'm not here to give you solace. I'm here to disturb you so badly that till you find it, you can't sit, you can't sleep, you can't do anything. You have to know it, otherwise you can't settle. I want you to make you so thirsty that you have to know. This is not to solace you, this is not to put you to sleep. If you feel it's the wrong place, you may leave. It's okay with me You're asking, what is the nature of who I am? Or you're saying, I don't know a damn thing about myself, please tell me. Yes? Isn't it? You're asking this very easily because you have not been touched by the pain of ignorance, the pain of not knowing who you are. It has not torn you apart. If it really touches you that you're just living here, doing all kinds of nonsense without knowing the ABC of who you are, it should be very painful, isn't it? That pain has not yet touched you. You're mouthing questions, it's not sunk deep enough. So every day you must remind yourself, at least spend 10 minutes in the morning, just see what an utter idiot you are. You don't know anything about yourself, but you're busy with all kinds of nonsense in your life. Every day, just 10 minutes, remind yourself as intensely as possible your ignorance of yourself. Then slowly the pain will sink. When it becomes so painful that you can't bear it, knowing will not be far away. It's one moment. You do not know how a blessing will come. That is why you must keep yourself open and treat every aspect of life as a blessing. The fundamental yogic culture has in many ways brought this into the life of people. Well, the entire Indian culture has an element of yoga in it. Based on this, no matter what it is, if you want to step on the ground outside, you bow down to it, reverence. You look at a tree, bow down to it, reverence. You look at a rock, reverence. Man, woman, child, animal, insect. Here, you can hear the frogs going away. It's their social media, I think. I'm sure they're saying something that is meaningful to them, and maybe there is a blessing. So one who wants to walk on the ultimate terrain, one who wants to reach the ultimate nature of who he or she is, such a person must ensure that if you walk upon the grass, the blades of grass will bless you. That is how gently you must handle things. Here, the frogs, they must bless you. Right now, the aggressive forms of living has destroyed the blessing that you could receive from nature. Well, this may look like are we playing a psychological game, an emotional game? No, every aspect of life either can exude well-being for you or cause trouble to you. To tell you to what extent, when the elephants come to eat and they start eating a little violently, ripping off the trees and eating what they want, throwing what they want, within 5 to 7 minutes, all the trees of that species will generate a certain amount of poison and bitterness in their leaves, so that the elephants will eat quickly. That's the reason why they're ripping and eating, because they know all those trees of the same species are beginning to generate bitterness and poison in their leaves so that they cannot eat further. So that's how connected life is, and that is how it can either bless you or can bring trouble to you. So, everything that you touch, everything that you see, everything that you come in contact with, if you are in a certain state of conscious response, then you will receive blessings from every direction, and this is vital for someone who wants to go very far. When I say very far, I'm talking about you want to transcend all the limitations and touch dimensions that most human beings have not even imagined possible. You want to reach to your ultimate nature, then you must be constantly receiving blessing from everything around you. Well, there are some textbook scientists who will say, where is the blessing, prove it to me. Well, you don't know where it is, that is the problem. It is very important. You receive blessing from every aspect of life. In this, there is empowerment. In this, all impediments to your ultimate journey are removed. This is why the seeking blessing is such a big thing in the Indian culture, in the yogic culture, all the time seeking blessing from everything and everyone. When you are really blessed, then your life is well lubricated, without impediments. You can journey on with least amount of friction with the rest of the world.
If we want to taste an essence of what it means when we say Krishna, the consciousness that we refer to as Krishna, if we have to be touched by this, we need Leela. Here we are from the Leela. Leela means it is the path of the playful.
விளையாட்டு பிள்ளை கண்ணன் தீராத விளையாட்டு பிள்ளை.
Krishna is supposed to be blue-bodied. Maybe he was dark-skinned, but people who are aware saw the blueness of his energy.
He sticks his life out just to nurse 6 wounds on somebody's back. Now he is willing to take 100,000 lives with a smile on his face.
So Krishna did not choose Arjuna. At last he found one guy willing to sit through the whole 18 chapters.
When it comes from Krishna, it is genuine and true. If somebody else just parrots these words, it is utter falsehood.
Through this whole drama of all the people, Krishna is going through the maximum amount of drama, but untouched. Because he said, yogastaha kuru karmani. That means first establish in yoga and then act.
Not a miracle maker, he is a miracle himself. Don't miss the miracle. In you appreciating his sense and intelligence and activity, don't miss the miracle. That's the most significant aspect of him. Only because he's such a miracle, that type of life he lives.
All you have to do is, to whom? Just the creation. Isn't it big enough to bow down? Isn't it big enough to bow down? Just the creation. On top of that you want one more thing? Isn't creation itself big enough to bow down, I'm asking? Isn't the mountain big enough to bow down? I find even the tree and an ant big enough to bow down because not one of them can we figure. All your intelligence, you can't figure a leaf upon this tree, one leaf. So, just the sheer intelligence of everything that is happening. When you can't figure anything, what do?
Modern science today is recognizing there is something called as Akashic intelligence. That is, space, empty space has certain intelligence. Whether this intelligence works for you or works against you will determine the nature of your life, whether you are a blessed being or one who is going to be freaked and buggered around for the rest of your life. It simply depends on that. How this Akashic intelligence behaves with you. For no reason, people are being hammered around by life, isn't it? For no reason, some people seem to be blessed with everything. It is not for no reason. It is your ability, either consciously or unconsciously, your ability to be able to get the cooperation of this larger intelligence which is functioning. When I say Akashic or the space, the fifth element, it is improper to call it the fifth element, it is because it's the element. All the other four just play upon it. The fundamental element is Akash or the space. It is upon that element the other four play. Now we are sitting here on a round planet, you know it is spinning. Earth spinning, solar system, everything. I want you to know, it is all held in place only by the Akash. You are sitting in your place, not because yourself, not because you got bumps to sit on. You are sitting in your place only because the Akash is holding you in place, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
You think it's your buttock? It's not your butt. It is the Akash which is holding you in place. It is the Akash which is holding this earth in place. It's the Akash which is holding the solar system in place. It's the Akash which is holding this galaxy in place. It is the Akash which is holding the whole cosmos in place. And no strings attached, just see. Just like that. Just held like this, isn't it? Now this Akash, if you know how to bring it to your cooperation, if you know how to get the cooperation of the Akash into your life, this will be a blessed life. I can teach one simple process, which anyway half of you will not do always. You do this much. After the sunrise, before the sun crosses 30 degrees angle, 30 degrees means something like this. Before the sun crosses 30 degrees angle, once look up at the sky and bow down for holding you in place today. After it crosses 30 degrees, sometime during the day, any time, look up and bow down again. After it sets, once again look up and bow down. Not to some god up there, just to the empty space for holding you in place for today. Just do this. Life will change dramatically. Devotion is another dimension of intelligence. Devotion is the intelligence. You understand there's a bigger intelligence and you have learned to keep your little intellect aside. That is devotion. Devotion does not mean every day doing puja, doing this, doing that. Devotion simply means your involvement with life is so absolute that even you don't matter anymore. Your involvement with what you have taken up is so absolute that who you are does not matter, then you're a devotee. Devotion means you're devoid of yourself, that's devotion. And there is no greater intelligence than that, and there is no greater sweetness than that. The sweetness that a devotee knows, no lover will know, no pleasure seeker will know. Even if you go to heaven, you will not know. Heaven is a bad place, believe me.